Welcome back to the series. This is episode 15, where we're going to be going over our postfix operators. So in the last episode, we added prefix operators, so what comes before our expressions or nodes or whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to be adding postfix, so what comes after those. So we have a plus plus operator and a minus minus operator we're going to be adding, but you can of course add how you see fit by seeing this template I'm about to give out. So that is our test.lime file. We're just doing what we usually do. We're making a for loop. We're testing postfix operators in this for loop right here. So now that we have that, we can move into our first step as the majority of all of our episodes in the token.py file. I'm going to scroll down to symbols where we had our bank. I'm going to enter down and create a new block and post these in. Postfix symbols, we're having plus plus, minus minus. I'm also going to clean up and just enter down this bang here and make a new section for prefix symbols. I would put the minus in here, but meh, it'll be alright. So we're just going to have bang here. So that we can save that, and then we can move into our Lexer. We need to handle the plus plus and minus minus tokens. So in our case statement here, we can move up to pluses. Oh, literally the same thing as before. We'll just copy this, paste in it here, change this to an elif, change this to another plus sign, then change this to plus plus. We can do the same exact thing for our minus. We'll take this equals block right here, paste it down, change it to another minus, change this to minus minus. And now we can handle those postfix operators in our Lexer. So we can save that. ast.py is next. We need to scroll up to our node types. In our expressions, we will add the postfix expression, which I'll paste in. So postfix expression equals postfix expression. We'll scroll down to the expressions region. Underneath our prefix, I'm going to enter down and paste in postfix. All this takes in is the left node and the operator used as the postfix, so pretty similar but backwards to our prefix right here. So we'll just copy this in and then we'll paste and save that. And that's all we need to do for the AST, so we'll move on to our parser. Scroll to the very top. In our expressions block right here, we'll add our postfix expression. We have a couple more precedence mappings to do, so in our dictionary right here, precedences, we'll do the very bottom. I'll paste these in for time. Plus plus goes to index, minus minus also goes to the index. We'll move right along to our infix functions dictionary. At the very bottom, I will I'll paste in these again for both of our tokens. We're going to create a parse postfix expression that are both mapped to these postfix operators or tokens. So I'll copy that name. We'll scroll down to our expression methods underneath prefix. This is going to be a very simple function, parse postfix expression. Take in self and a left node type expression. And we're going to set that to postfix. So what we're going to do is just return a new postfix expression object where the left node equals the left node we took in, and the operator is equal to the current tokens dot literal. Now that we've done that, we have one last thing to do. We need to go to our statement methods, to our for statement. Instead of our assignment statement here for the action, now we want to do this a little more generalized and parse expression. We're going to set this to the precedence type dot lowest. We're going to add in another next token function call. And everything else can stay the same. Now that we're not allowing assignment statements in our for loop, we need to go into our for statement. We'll save parser first. We need to go to our for statement node in the AST, so I just control clicked that. In here, we'll just set this type to expression. That's all we need to do for that, just for typing's sake. You could keep that and it would still work fine, but to save me some annoyance later, I will get rid of it. That's everything for the parser and our AST again, so we'll go into our compiler now. Always, first thing we do is import what we've been working on, so in our expressions, we'll import postfix expression. In our visit or expression visit methods, down here in our region block expressions, scroll all the way to the bottom. We're going to create a new function under here, def visit postfix expression, taking self, and we're also taking in a node of that postfix, and this won't return anything at all. We're going to break up our nodes, so left node should always be an identifier literal. We're going to do node.left node. That's something we also need to check, so postfix here, we're going to change this expression. This needs to be an identifier literal, which we can't do because it's down here. Alright, so we're just going to pretend this says identifier literal and we're going to go with it. Don't worry about it. Real software right here. And we're going to take the operator as a string and we're going to break it from our node.operator. Next, we need to make sure that this node actually exists. So if self.env.lookup left node.value is none. So this just returns none. We want to append an error. So I'm going to paste this in. We're going to self.errors append a compiler error and that this identifier has not been declared before it was used in a postfix expression. You make these errors a lot better, but that should do the job for now. We'll enter down after the if statement. We'll take in a var pointer and the underscore for the type, and we'll look up in the env the left node value again. We're going to get the original value by loading that pointer, so self.builder.load var pointer. We'll do what we've done a lot. We're going to do a value variable, set it to none, match case on the operator. We have only two cases. We have our plus plus and our minus minus, and they will be the exact same pretty much. So if is instance, original value dot type is an integer, so ir.int type. We want to set value equal to self.builder.add the original value, and we're going to add it to a new constant. It's going to be an integer 32 type, ir.int type, and we're just going to add 1 to it. elif is instance that original value type if that's a float, so ir float type. We're going to do the same thing except with the float function, so fadd the original value. We're going to add a new constant, which is a float. We're going to add 1 to the original value. Now for the minus minus, it's the same except instead of adding, we're subtracting. So we'll use sub and f sub here, but everything else is the same. Now finally, after we've done that, all we have to do is create a store instruction to set this new value here to be equal to the variable where that's set, in this pointer. So self.builder.store. We're going to store that value, new value, in the variable's pointer's location. Finally, we're going to go up to our compile methods, right around the very top. We'll scroll down to the expressions section, and we'll call our function that we've been working on. New case, node type dot postfix expression, and all that's going to do is call our visit method, visit postfix expression, and we'll pass in that node. So that should be everything that we need to have postfix expressions. So go to our test.lime file, go to our terminal, python main.py. just scroll on up. Looks like it worked. So since we're breaking here at 5, it should never get to 5, which it never does. 0, it's adding 1 each iteration. We can prove that with the print statement. So it looks like it's working to me. Now that we have all this squared away, our next episode is going to be on actual importing of files. So we'll be able to import a math file and use functions from that file and also declare import statements at the top. It's going to be very basic, but it will get the importing job done, and I should have some better ways of importing, but I haven't been able to find any information on actually importing things or any tutorials, so I think it'll be a really good video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in 16.